Well, we heard 8 weeks of theories and questions as to what happened to Big Brown in the Belmont. Then last week, we finally got some answers as Big Brown returned to the track. He did so at Monmouth in the Haskell, going off as the overwhelming 1-5 favorite to take that in Oceanport, New Jersey. Jerry, break it down for us.
Like a shot, Big Brown goes right to the lead as usual. Kent DeSormo looks over and listen. Dutrow had publicly said, I don't want Kent taking a hold of this horse. I don't want him to wrangle with him in his way. But Kent defers to Joe Bravo. He eases him back. Good decision, bad decision. Well, I think Kent thought it was the right one. But right here, turning for home, I'm not sure he thought that. I didn't think he had a chance to win. Kent's beating on him like a rented mule here, trying to come down the stretch. And Kent's cold play. You know, not Disley as impressive as it was earlier in the spring. He's drifting out in the stretch deeply, but I think it did show a lot of courage and determination.
I think we counted there, and you made the rented mule reference there, but we counted that he went to the whip 15 times in that stretch. Right? I mean, the amount of urging it took to get that kind of response. You and I were right there on the finish line. We turned to each other during commercial break of our broadcast to say visually that was not impressive.
I mean, he obviously didn't have that sort of push-button acceleration that he had in the Kentucky Derby. But when you look at the race in hindsight and you look at the running times, it wasn't that bad. I don't care that Coldplay had never won a stakes before. All I care about is how fast Coldplay ran in the Haskell. He ran fast. Big Brown ran a strong race to run him down. Not as good as his Kentucky Derby, obviously, when he was wide around both turns, but definitely not a bad race.
So you see the big number there produced by Big Brown, and let's four-box our Big Brown coverage. Everything Brownie, the news and analysis, the what could, the what they're saying, the what's next, the what if, and we start with Janine with the post-race comments.
Well, Joe, 1 week after the Haskell, co-owner Michael Ivarone told me that, interestingly, even if the horse had finished second, plans for 2 more races this year would not have changed. He told me he did think Big Brown was getting tired in the latter stages of the race, but that he really showed his mettle. And trainer Rick Dutrow agreed with that.
Satisfied until the 3/8 pole when I see we just weren't gaining naturally on that horse. But our horse just showed his determination and his courage today. You know, he got down on his belly and he run. It was probably next to his last race. It was probably the toughest race that we've seen him run.
Now, Big Brown's delicate feet have been well chronicled, and we know that turf is generally kinder to a horse's feet than dirt. And remember, Big Brown's breeze right before the Haskell was on turf. Well, today, Rick Dutrow told me he thinks Big Brown is superior on the grass. He said, but we had to go for the Triple Crown because that's where the prestige is. He said, I'd hate to see this horse retire without having run once more on the grass. Interesting. Well, it looks like the Big Brown camp has several reasons for considering what his next assignment will be. And for more on that, here's Jay Privman.
Thanks very much, Janine. Earlier today here at Arlington Park, I asked co-owner Michael Ivarone the question everybody wants to know about Big Brown. Where's he going to run next?
We've looked at a lot of different options, and I think the thing that makes the most sense for us right now is to return him to the grass. We've always wanted to get him on the grass. We knew he's been a grass horse from day one, and we think it'll be a nice transition from the grass into the synthetic, which will set him up for his best race in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Now, currently on the East Coast, there's nothing scheduled at any racetrack for what they want, but it looks as though the New York Racing Association at Belmont Park is going to schedule a race for Big Brown the second weekend of September at about 1.125 miles on the grass. So look for Big Brown to be pointed for that.